Welcome to Tough Talk. I'm your host, Paul Taros, and today my guest is Rob Cortis. He's a resident of Livonia. He's an entrepreneur, and he built the Trump Unity Bridge and takes it around the country to various events. Welcome, Rob.
Welcome. Thanks for having me today.
So, why did you build the bridge?
Well, I built the bridge originally to go over the river at my house. We lived in Farmington Hills, and my father and my uncle had the UAW union workers from General Motors were welders. And we wanted to have a bridge. We were trying to figure out how to build it out of wood. They said, let's build it out of steel. So maybe about 40 years ago, they built it for us. And then in around 2010, I was going through a divorce. My ex-wife, the mother of my children, got the house, and I took the bridge because my dad built it. I said, well, if you're taking the house, I get the lot across the river. I want the bridge. So we had a crane come in, lift the bridge over, set it on my property. And then basically, the history was I was going to pick it up to take it to its new home, where I was going to take it out to my restaurant in Banquet Center in Whitmore Lake, the Barnstormer, and we're going to use it as a landscaping bridge for people to get married on. Nice, beautiful arch and picture flowers, and put little stands on it so they could put flags and banners with their names, and it was going to be a unity bridge. Get married on it. Beautiful little Kodak moment. And then the city said it was an illegal bridge. Green Oak Township said it was an illegal bridge because there was no body of water. So we went to court, and the judge said I have 48 hours to move it. So I went to go pick it up from the property where I had it stored, and it was gone. Somebody had stolen it. So I posted it on Facebook, and then there's Kim Spencer from Channel 7. She got a hold of it and said that she wants to help me find it, because who steals a 40-foot long bridge that weighs 5,000 pounds?
Yeah.
And so she did the story, ran it. We had the police come out, and I went playing CSI and went neighbor to neighbor, door to door, asking 20 questions and trying to find where's the bridge. And then I posted like crazy on Facebook, and the Farmington Hills detectives came out, and they did the same thing. They canvassed the neighborhood, put two and two together, and we talked later that night, and they thought they had some ideas, and we were both on the same page of who we thought took it. And the next day they called me and said, we found your bridge, 48 hours later. So we found the bridge. It was in Belleville. It was at a plant. Somebody had shipped to where they were going to refurbish it and use it on their property. It was a builder. They were going to use it on one of their subdivisions. And they said, well, they thought that it was an abandoned bridge on a vacant lot. So they just said they'd come and take it. So that's what happened. We got it back, and I'm happy. And then when the Green Oak Township told me I had to remove it I couldn't keep it on my property anymore, the Pope was saying Donald Trump needs to be building bridges, not walls. And then all the media, the mainstream media, said if Trump's going to win, he needs to unite the Republican Party. And I said, you know what? I have a bridge. I'll make it the Trump Unity Bridge. So I got working on it. I said, let's find some wheels. So we got an axle with some wheels, a mobile home axle that holds big mobile homes, so that would hold the weight. I checked around. We did all the engineering, talked to architects and engineers, make sure we did it right. I went to the Michigan Secretary of State to find out what requirements there were. So I did all the research to make it roadworthy. Then I said, this has to be able to handle, if I'm going to drive it down the freeway, 70, 80 mile an hour, plus if there's winds of gusts of 20, 30 miles an hour, it has to handle 100 mile an hour winds. So I went to MDOT, Michigan Department of Transportation, and got some statistics on their signs. And their signs are rated hurricane that hold up to 140, 160 miles an hour winds, depending on how they're built. So we took a system and built it so that it could handle up to 140 mile an hour winds. So when we're driving down the freeway at 60, 70 miles an hour, if a gust at 30, 40 mile an hour hits it, it's safe. So that's what we did. We bought some, went to the scrapyard, bought some old road signs and posts, the heavy duty ones, and found the ones that worked, and we built it, we made the letters Trump, and then we decided that we needed to put the messages on there to help him get elected. So, which were one flag, one nation, one God, which helps preserve, American culture. We also had on there drain the swamp, get rid of all the politicians that are getting paid off and only voting for what the special interests want, not what the people of America want. And then we put on there lock her up, Hillary, because we felt that, I believed that what she did was wrong, the things that she's done was wrong and illegal, so she should be accountable for her actions, just like I was accountable for my bridge. I had to remove it from the property, so, because the local community said it's illegal, and, I had the choice, either remove it or go to jail, so I removed it. And I built it into the Trump Unity Bridge. And then we had, build the wall. That was a big one. Let's secure America's borders. And my feeling on that is if people would don't want the wall built, they don't want secure borders, then they should take the locks off their doors at their home and their stores and businesses and just leave it open freely and trust the people. Let open borders, open doors, that it's the same thing. Our country is a country, and when I was at I was at a meeting the other night with the Oakland County Women's Republicans, and Pete Hegseth was the speaker, and he came up with something that it touched me, and I was on the same page with him. If the far left and the far right come up with so many restrictions and regulations in America, and America becomes where it's not free anymore, and we become a socialist or communist type country, or with like what Bernie Sanders wants, where everybody's the same, and the rich, there's a small people of rich, and everybody's the same, and poor, and everybody's on government food and welfare and government health care, and there's lines, and it's horrible. Where would we go to be free? Where would we be? I wouldn't be able to talk like this in any other country. We couldn't have this show.
Right.
We'd be reading a script. So we have to fight. This is our one chance to fight to keep America, the culture, the Constitution, the way it was intended to be, so we can all be free. Keep our amendments. The first 10 amendments are the most important amendments. We need to make sure that our education system, that was on there. Education was on the bridge when we first built it. But it's very important that we educate our youth so that they have integrity, patriotism, pride, respect, and they're not afraid to work. A lot of these, I can't find any high school kids hardly that want to work. Even with this bridge, I've been doing businesses for years, and probably since 2000, it's hard to find kids that want to work. So I built the bridge to inspire America, first to get President Trump elected, which we did. All right, we took it around back in the day. It was born in September of 2016. We had the Trumpmobile out all year, driving that around. And then when the bridge was officially born, it took me about 3 months to build it and get it ready. And then we had the official inauguration of it at the Imagine Theater in Novi on the night of the last debate with President Trump and Hillary Clinton. So we had sparklers going off, fireworks on it, and all that. It was pretty cool, and that was the inauguration. From that time, we got it home at about 2 o'clock in the morning. We didn't stop. We were up at 7 every morning till the election night, till he got elected. And I was out campaigning with the bridge till 9 o'clock at night, till the polls closed. We were driving through all the polling stations all around Detroit and Plymouth and Northville, Livonia, Canton, Westland, Southfield, Royal Oak. We just drove everywhere around our community to help turn Michigan red. And prior to that, we would go to the Michigan Stadium football games with the philosophy that all the kids that go to school at University of Michigan, many of them come from all across the country to come to this great school that we have. And they want to get a good education. So I'm thinking, these kids are from all over the country. We can advertise nationwide just by going to the football game. So we were promoting Donald Trump, vote Trump, let's get elected.
And how was it received at Michigan football?
It was received amazingly. You know, we had a couple people, a few negatives, but even driving through downtown Ann Arbor, down Main Street, I get standing ovations from the restaurants. You get a few sour looks, but people stand up and clap and cheer, you know, it's amazing. And it's there's more people that want America to be free and want people to have a better life than there is that don't, you know, and you know, a lot of the left, the left is pretty crystal clear that they say we are smart, we're educated, we have money, so do what we have America the way we want it, and we'll agree with you. You know, but if you want anything different than what we want, you know, forget it. So what they're saying there is we're not very smart at all. We might have education, we might know what's in books, but we don't have any sense of humanity. You know what I mean? So that in those types of ways. So from that perspective, you know, they're basically liberal dictators.
So on the bridge, you have the Statue of Liberty.
Yes.
How did that come about to get on the bridge?
Well, when I built the bridge, I had the messages, and then I said, you know what, I need some symbols so to make sure that it's festive, and to make sure that it has a visual message. So I had the flags on there for patriotism, you know, stand for the pledge, you know, stand for the anthem, and then the Statue of Liberty was put on there. There's a story behind that, but I won't get into it. But that's over 60 years old. I bought it about 30 years ago at a garage sale from the guy who had it for 20 years, who had passed away from his estate sale. And I had it. It's about 10 foot tall, and it was to represent come to America as an immigrant, but came the way our grandfathers and grandparents did. Fill out the paperwork through Ellis Island and come here to learn our language, come here to have a better life for you and your family, and support and take pride in our country, learn our Pledge of Allegiance, learn our national anthem, and pay respect to our country so everyone in America can respect you for being an American citizen.
Now, I noticed she's missing her arm and the torch. What happened there?
Well, we had about 50,000 miles of travel, and we went to the mother of all rallies in Washington, D.C., the Moore Rally, and it had more on it. And we were staying at a hotel in Arlington, Virginia, and we put it to bed at night. In a big field, open field, well-lit parking lot. We could see it from our hotel. And after we checked in around midnight, a semi-truck came in and parked next to us, between us and the hotel, and blocked us. The hotel had a security guard that was there until 6 o'clock in the morning, and he got off. I got out there about 8:30 in the morning, and the police were already there. Somebody had vandalized. Somebody or many people had vandalized the Trump Unity Bridge and the vehicle. They flattened their tires, and this was September 14th. This was around the time where they're saying that America's statues need to go down. You know, anything with American culture, the Christopher Columbus statues. They're dismantling and defacing statues. So they cut her arm, ripped her arm off, and cut it off, and took it. Otherwise, we could have patched it and fixed it. And then they cut the book off. And then they wrote on the vehicle, "We heart killing brown people," and then they wrote "Death to America," and a heart with a cross through it to America. And then they wrote, "What would Jesus say about you?" And it was just pure vandalism. It's the first time we've had vandalism like of any kind like that. You know, at the Million Women's March or different events like that, you know, somebody had stolen a flag, ripped it off, you know, and jumped up and down at a couple of school teachers, one in Ypsilanti, one in Washington, D.C., and we know they were school teachers because they were caught. The police, there was witnesses, the police saw them, and they made a point of it that, you know, I'm a school teacher, you guys are crazy, and she's the one ripping a flag down and jumping up and down on it, you know, and stealing, and she's the one educating our children. So that whenever I meet a teacher, I ask them, Oh, I'm glad to see her a teacher. Do you guys stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Do you guys, and yes, and 99% of them I get a positive thing. So, one thing I am sad about is that in Farmington Hills, my son goes to school. He's the only student in his class, young adult, that stands for the pledge in his class by himself. And I'm so proud of him for doing that, because that means that I did a good job raising him to show respect and pride for our country, and hopefully we'll continue on with that for the rest of his life, showing respect and pride for you and all the viewers and everybody that sees these interviews.
Now you also on the bridge you have the Harley Davidson, right?
Yep.
Motorcycle.
The Harley Davidson is to represent products made in America by Americans. It's that simple. And in fact, we're going to. We're giving a gift. We're not just about promoting Trump, we're about promoting his agenda. It's more about, and Trump's agenda is, I'm here to do what the people of America want, what the voters wanted. That's why I was elected. So I'm going to give you a gift, which is one of the Make America Great Again hats. This is for you.
Oh, well, thank you so
All right?
much.
And what we are doing is, with this in mind, we are going to be driving from Michigan to Florida. But before we go, we're going to be collecting toys. And we're going to be collecting brand new toys. We're going to fill the bridge from top to bottom, wrap it with plastic, put a bow on it. Then we're going to stop at Harley Davidson dealers from Detroit down to Miami, Fort Lauderdale area. And we're going to stop and pick up toys and have other bikers for Trump join us in an escort down to the toy run in the sun in Fort Lauderdale. And there's 25,000 bikers there that will be coming from all across the country, migrating from the whole United States, and we're going to deliver the toys, and everybody comes and brings a toy for children, and it's we give it to the Boys and Girls Club of America, and then they're going to distribute it to hurricane victim children that need toys and children across America that are needy. So we're going to do our part, and we're doing a Michigan base. This is we attended the event last year and bought some toys. This year we want to fill it with joy and love and share and be giving and show that Michigan cares, and we're going to fill it up with toys. So if anybody has a toy store or something like that with a block of toys, or anybody would like to donate, they can go to our website, TrumpUnityBridge.com. And then we're going to have information going up there this week. We just got invited yesterday. So it's December 10th. I'm really excited about it. It's a huge, huge undertaking. We're going to ask some of the, and the toys are nonpartisan. It's for every child. It doesn't matter whether you're left or right or Democrat or Republican. Children need toys. And that's our message to America. We all need to get along just like we do something for the children. We're going to help everybody. We don't care. Just like the hurricanes. Everybody got together, helped everybody out. They just lended a hand just because they were a neighbor and people needed help. So it didn't matter who you were, you just helped them. And that's what we're trying to do. And our messages came from the people of America. I've driven from right now over 77,000 miles with the Trump Unity Bridge. And I've gathered these messages from people from coast to coast, border to border, talking to people from Alaska, California. We've been to over 30 states. So, in fact, last month, I drove through Harlem, Queens, by myself in the car after I dropped my son off at the airport. I dropped him off at LaGuardia, drove through not down the freeway, drove through the communities, stopped at the lights, talked to the people. Asked them what if they didn't like it, I said, well, what don't you like about the messages on the bridge? And they said, no, the messages are fine. Well, then why don't we get behind our president and pick a message that would make America a better place? It would make your life better, your friend's life better. And they seem to like that. And there was a lot of people supporting me, but there was a lot of people that didn't like it. So I had to explain to them, and when you explain to them and talk to them and communicate, things get better. In fact, at the Moore rally, Now This Politics did a video. We were there. I was on stage with Tommy. I was just getting ready to speak. And Black Lives Matter showed up. And it was the president of the New York chapter. And he showed up with a busload of people in costumes and chains and all this stuff, making a big statement. And they came up and said, well, this is a free speech rally. And we said, yeah. Well, we want to speak. Well, we had signed up all the speakers in advance. But in order to show peace and unity, we said, you know what, if you want to speak, you're more than welcome to, but we don't allow any negativity. We don't allow any any community bashing. We have to have a positive message. Our rally is free speech about positive, making America a better place. Their leader got up there, their spokesman, and spoke eloquently, spoke great. He said that he's an American, he's a Christian, and he spoke really, really good. He actually turned the crowd at a Trump rally and got the crowd cheering and clapping. And that video, a couple days ago, had 48 million views in a month. 48 million views. And that was a baby step in making America a better place. Now the problem with it is other chapters of Black Lives Matter are disowning him and asking him to leave because they don't agree with him speaking at a Trump rally and trying to create unity. Their message is, we want our messages, what we want them to conform to us. And all he was saying is, let's work together and make this a better country. And they weren't happy with that. So that was the sad part about it. But other than that, it was a step because there's millions of people that think just like him. And
so let's just, for the audience, you're not paid by the Trump campaign or anything like that.
No, absolutely not.
And so how do you fund your travels across the country?
I do it by my money that I've saved and earned, my own money, and then through donations. People just, I was at the gas station with my truck the other day. Somebody said, we've seen you on TV. They came up and gave me some money. Here, put this in your gas tank. So I gave me a gift. So that's pretty much how we're doing it. It's a grassroots effort. I'm representing the community. This needs to be done. And if I'm not going to do it, are you going to go out and do it? Or are you going to go out and do it? Who's going to go out and do it? I mean, I'm a creative person. I built this thing. I had a vision. It just came. I want life to be like it was when I grew up, how my life was when I opened my first business, my second business, my third business. I had a catering business. I do everything entertainment related. In Bloomfield Township, I've done fireworks displays over at Turtle Lake, Forest Lake. I've done them on Cass Lake, Elizabeth Lake, for private parties, for community events. I've catered these events throughout my years of my life. I created a pastry shop back in the 80s called Elite Sweets Pastry Shop. When I got divorced, I sold out to my partner Dan, and he's still running it. It's an award-winning dessert and pastry shop. Everybody, thousands and thousands of people of Detroit and across the country know about it. The Grandy Ballroom I ran in the 80s into early 90s, and then I moved out to Whitmore Lake and opened the Barnstormer, which was a banquet center, restaurant, nightclub, and concert park, doing events. I maintained the pastry shop, my mobile DJ company, the cake company, the catering company, and the entertainment complex. And then in 2002, I started a marketing firm, and I started doing public relations, PR, doing the events at the Super Bowls. One of my clients that I worked for and helped out was Hawaiian Tropic, the sun tanning oil. Mm-hmm. And then I later graduated to the Harley Davidson. I did the consumer dealer marketing program with Harman Kardon Harley Davidson nationwide from 2007 on. And we've done events at all the bike rally, the bike weekend, Daytona, the Sturgis Rally, Laconia, all across the country, and visiting the top 10% of the largest dealers that do the most sales in the country. So I did that, and then I also participated. I worked with a great team with my friend Melissa Mango, brought me on to do the grand opening of the Hard Rock All-Inclusive Resort in Punta Cana, the Cancun Resort, the Puerto Vallarta Resort, and the Mayan Riviera Resort. So I was brought on to that team to help build the team and get that going, and I was there for it and was really proud of that. I also worked with Conair Corporation. A lot of people know about, but the blow dryers, the curling irons, the satin. I worked a lot with the Satin Smooth line, their waxing line, and their Ferrari line. So I put together the Ferrari motors with locally Cauley Ferrari and the Ferrari blow dryer and trimmers. It's with motors made in Italy by Ferrari. So it was a high-powered blow dryer with nano titanium powers in it, and just great stuff. And so I did marketing and put all these things together, used the Hawaiian Tropic swimsuit models to be the models for the hair care and at the Harley events, and that's part of what I did. And then when it came time to do this, I said, I got to make this bridge greater than life. It needs to become part of American history. And I just took my experiences and knowledge and said, when I do my events here, I need to make sure people see our booth, come to our booth, and we have a great message to share. And that's what I'm doing with the bridge. It was originally built to promote Trump and then go on the inaugural parade. We filled out all the applications, got everything ready, and then when it came time to get our information to go to it, they said, well, we're not accepting floats in the parade this year.
Oh.
So I was like totally bummed and surprised because they've had floats every other year. So then we went there hoping that they would see it and say, we need to put that in the parade. And we ended up getting there, got on Fox News, and they did a big story on us and promoted it. And then basically from the day I built that and the day I inaugurated in 2016, I've been on a parade ever since. We're playing patriotic music, putting smiles on people's faces, and talking to as many people as we can, sharing the messages.
Have you met the president?
I've met the president in early 2003 when he was just Donald Trump. I lost a gold bracelet at a casino in Las Vegas. He found it and returned it to me, which was beautiful. He found gold and gave it back. And that's what he's doing with America. Okay? He found gold. Donald Trump found gold and gave it back. So that's one of the beautiful things that I have. And I lost it again in my divorce. Now I need Donald Trump to help me get it back again. In the divorce, I lost all my gold. But and anybody that lives in Oakland County that goes through a divorce knows that happens. So anyway, so that was pretty cool, and oh boy.
So I heard you were invited to, or you were down at Mar-a-Lago.
Well, yeah. We were down a year ago. December 4th was the toy run, where we took the toys, and we're going to go back again this year.
We just have 30 seconds left. So.
All right. So yeah, we're down at Mar-a-Lago. We're invited back there again in January. Donald Trump's sister's hosting a fundraiser for us. This is a tour that we just finished, so I don't know if they can see this or not. And then this is where we're going. We've been to 30 states. We're going to 50. We're going to all 50 states is our plan. Even Alaska and Hawaii. We'll just put the bridge on a ship and take it over. So that's what we're hoping to do. I believe that this bridge and everything that's going on, I believe the people of Michigan will support us. They can find us at TrumpUnityBridge.com, and we're going to keep going on until 2020 as long as it takes. I mean, as long as I can afford to keep doing it, I really want to do it because I think America needs the help, and if we don't do it now, it won't get done. And Donald Trump, he's not giving up. He's out there every day fighting. He promised us people. He promised the people what he was going to do, and he's fighting hard every day to get it done.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for bringing the bridge and coming on the show, Rob. It was a great pleasure.
Thank you.